Are you wondering if the latest kernel CVEs affect your specific hardware setup? Do you want to know how Kali Linux managed to make their virtual machines boot 3 times faster? If so, you're in the right place. By the end of this video, you'll know exactly what to update and what new features you can start using today. This week has brought some significant updates across the Linux ecosystem. We'll be looking at a major release from Kali Linux, some interesting hardware developments from System76, and a few critical kernel security patches you need to be aware of. We'll get to why those kernel patches matter for your daily driver in just a moment. But first, let's talk about Kali Linux 2026-2. Kali Linux 2026.2 has officially landed, and it brings a compelling mix of desktop upgrades and under-the-hood optimizations. The most noticeable change for many users will be the desktop environments. It ships with GNOME 50, which introduces significant file manager optimizations, faster thumbnail loading, and reduced memory usage. For KDE users, Plasma 6.6 focuses heavily on accessibility, adding a new on-screen keyboard and OCR-powered text extraction. But the real story here is the performance improvement for virtual machines. Previously, Kali shipped with a large payload of graphics firmware for NVIDIA, AMD, and Intel GPUs, bloating the init to around 200 megabytes. This caused noticeably slow boot times in VMs. The solution? The installer now detects VM environments and skips that unnecessary firmware installation. The result is a much leaner 60 megabyte initRD, and boot times that are approximately 3 times faster for QEMU users. They've also added 9 new tools to the arsenal, including a Go-based command library and a new GUI for Hydra. And if you're managing your sources, note that they are moving away from the traditional sources.list file to the new Debian-822 style format. Moving over to hardware, System76 has launched the 2026 edition of the Lemur Pro. If you're looking for a lightweight, Linux-first laptop, this is a serious contender. It's powered by Intel's Core Ultra Series 3 processors, and you can configure it with up to 4 terabytes of storage. But the standout feature here is the battery life. System76 is advertising up to 18 hours of usage, backed by a 73 watt-hour battery. That's a bold claim, and if it holds up in real-world testing, it makes the Lemur Pro an excellent machine for developers on the go. It also includes Wi-Fi 7 and Thunderbolt 4 connectivity. On the software side, System76 also released Cosmic 1.2, the Rust-based desktop environment. This update brings AVIF image support for backgrounds, improved support for newer Intel GPUs, and horizontal scrolling in the new Cosmic Monitor app. It's great to see the rapid iteration and polish being applied to Cosmic. In distribution news, Mageia 10 has been released after nearly 3 years of development. For those who remember Mandriva Linux, Mageia continues that legacy. This release is powered by the Linux 6.18 LTS kernel and offers a wide array of desktop environments, including KDE Plasma 6.5 and GNOME 49. One of the notable shifts here is that Wayland is now the default on both Plasma and GNOME sessions. It also includes refreshed software packages across the board, from LibreOffice to the latest Mesa graphics drivers. If you're looking for a stable, independent RPM-based distribution, Mageia 10 is definitely worth a look. Finally, let's circle back to those kernel security patches I mentioned earlier. The Linux kernel project published 38 CVEs this past week. Now, before you panic, there are no 0 days and no public exploit code for these. However, depending on your hardware, some of these are critical. For instance, if you're using a device with Bluetooth, there are 2 L2CAP fixes you need to apply immediately, as a remote device could force a disconnect and cause a use after free error. If you're running a cloud server, there's a serious fix for a malicious SEV-SNP guest, potentially corrupting host kernel memory. The solution is straightforward. Update your kernel to the latest fixed version for your branch, such as 6.1838 or 7.0.14. If you found this breakdown helpful, please hit the like button and subscribe to the channel. For more Linux guides and updates, sign up for the newsletter at tondoslinux.com/subscribe.